pretty unrealistic that he would be able to accomplish all of that. But his training as a child, his abilities that he carried over into his youth prepared him that he actually became exactly what they called him. They said, "Who are you? You're not a prince. Who are you? You act like you're our judge." Well, God was setting him up with his character as a child and as a youth that he actually became the prince that led the people out. He actually became the judge of all of their disputes. It was a good thing he had an affinity for law, because he's the one who gave them the law with God's help. It's a good thing that he had an affinity for settling disputes, because 3 million people came to his feet every time they were fighting, and he had to decide what was going to happen. And later we find out that he set up that there would be rulers over groups, because it was such a massive ordeal. And he would handle the biggest disputes. All right, I looked at myself as an adult, and as I was going down through my childhood and seeing the things I love to do, I thought, my goodness, God really made me exactly like he wanted me. Because now, when we stepped into Singapore, I ended up doing administration when the church was first started. And when there was no bookkeeper, I became a bookkeeper. And thank God he helped me to like to do these type of things, or it would have been a real miserable job if I would have given all of that to Brother Willoughby, because I would say, I can't do anything. I'll just follow you. And I did follow him, but it sure helps a lot that I would feel that I could do a little bit of something for God too. No, I don't want to clap. What's that for? I can see that God helped me to like to do creative things, which is a good thing, because now I enjoy working with the creative program. Okay. It's a good thing that I did as a child, that I didn't mind being in front of people, because now when God's opened doors for me to do speaking or to do sharing, I don't find myself paralyzed with fear. Okay? And now, how ironic that I was a substitute teacher when I was in grade 5, because I've ended up having to teach all my own children, which I would have never chose homeschooling. That's a big job. So, I mean, that wasn't my number one. I wasn't going like, ooh, I want to homeschool. No, that's a big job. And it's something that is very huge undertaking. So I'm thankful God's given me the grace to be able to finish that. So, look at your paper. You have 5 minutes. I'm giving you information. I don't expect you to finish it all. I was just giving you personal examples to help you figure out how to fill out this chart. I'd like for you just to take a minute, about 3 to 5 minutes before we close, and maybe you can think of some things that you did well as a child. Start there. No, keep it. This is for you, because at some point you have to find what you can do for God. How God made you. Use those abilities for God and make a big deal about God in the process. Okay? And you know what? Don't be deceived to think that to do a big thing for God means you must do something big. That is not what we're saying. To do a big thing for God means just do how God made you. All right? So, what are some of your abilities as a child? Maybe you... A negative one? Okay. A good example, if you have a child who lies a lot, that is revealing that they are very creative. To be a good liar means you have to be very creative, because it takes a lot of creativity to lie, especially if you're good at it. Okay? If you're a bad liar, it means little creativity. Okay? But lying is using your creative abilities to get out of trouble, okay? So, what is something you've done well as a youth? Some of you youth, you haven't become adults yet, so you don't have to fill out the last section, of course. But you are going to find that if you find out who you are as a child, this is what I started doing. With my youngest, her learning ability with some of the areas that she has difficulties on, flipping letters, flipping this, mathematics, with dyslexia, you have a difficulty, spelling. So I've had to learn how can I try to put into her without affecting her self-worth. Because with that type of a learning process, when you say something bad about them, it is connected to their self-worth. In other words, if you say, why can't you spell that word? You need to study it. Then they will say, oh, I'm very stupid as a person. I'm very lousy. I'm no good. When in reality, you're trying to correct a spelling word. So you must find out about your child or find out about yourself so that you can focus and try to help that person to excel at what they do well. As a result, because I know my youngest daughter enjoys artwork, I have made sure she's in an art class. And because I know she's very creative and she joins creativity, I'm already thinking ahead. What types of things for a lifelong job or for a way for her to make a living would best fit her abilities? To think that she's going to be a medical doctor is bizarre. So does that mean that she's not good? No. Does that mean she's a failure? No. How can I make her a success? By finding out what she does well and letting her do that the most instead of focusing on her weakness. This is what you need to do yourself, all right? And parents, if you can do that with your kids, then you can already start thinking which way to help them towards their future. You know, I'm already thinking maybe she should she seems to have a good aptitude for computers, better than my aptitude. So I'm already thinking maybe I should think soon about putting her into computer programs that will allow her to use creativity. So that she can use some of her artistic abilities with something that I know she enjoys, a computer, etc., etc. You get where I'm going? Okay, shall we stand? In order to find out who you are, you got to fill this out. And the same thing with the chart you had last week. That really shows you where your strong areas are. And if you'll get an awareness of what your strong areas are, then when the church is looking for help in certain areas, you will not be shy to say, I can do that. And you won't feel bad because you can't do something else. We are not measuring you by what you can't do. We're trying to help you measure yourself by what you can do. If you can do typing and you enjoy that and you're good at it, then you know what? Type. If you can cook and you're really good at it and you enjoy it, then you know what? Volunteer to cook. Brother Willoughby says he's good at tasting. Hey, let me tell you something. If you're good at cooking, on our Friday nights when we're doing E-Fridays, that's a great place to use that ability. Amen. Say, but I couldn't do the whole group. So then get somebody in your group who can organize it and say, I can teach how to cook this dish. If you're good at computers, then on Friday night evangelism, then maybe you could say, hey, I could teach something about this type of program on a computer to a group if you found somebody who would want to do it. I can do this, I can do that. Then just do that. And if you'll do what you do well, God will help you be a success because He made you to do it that way, all right? Steve says he's good at fishing. Is that why? Would you take the hand of the person next to you? And I want you